What's up, everybody? It's Kelpsy, and today I'm bringing you the updated version of the one-bar lazy Sorc, easy Sorc, whatever you want to call it. This is the sorcerer that I like to use when I'm doing all sorts of overland content, when I'm doing anything from trials with randoms to random dungeons, and I'm using the hell out of it during this Undaunted event. So here it is, and this is the updated version because we had to change it from the last video because of some nerfs to the Storm Master set. So let's get into it. I'm running all Magicka. My race is Imperial because that's what I usually run because of PvP. But the best races here are going to be something like Khajiit, High Elf, Dark Elf. Those are going to be your best in slots. Anything that's going to give you a damage adder is going to work. But honestly, absolutely every class can do this because it's so easy and you're doing this high damage. Of course, we have a shit ton of buffs. I am running the Thief. And for my Parses, I was just running random food. But right now I have on with Sugar Skulls because I have them. But anything that's going to give you magic is going to help because we just want to get the magic higher. And that's the whole focus of that, is the higher the magic bar, the better. Now, we're going to talk about the skills. And with the skills, I'm going to walk you through the setup I have for doing our base just Parse attack. And then with this, I'm going to walk you guys through the other alternative setups. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do and how to use a heavy attack build if you're new to it. So first things first, let's look at the skill bar as it sits. So this is as easy as I could get it. This is the closest thing to as simple as I can. So we are running Unstable Wall of Elements, Critical Surge, Daedric Prey, not Haunting Curse, we're using Daedric Prey, and then the Volatile Familiar and the Tormentor Enrage. So both damage alterations, and then the Shooting Star. So Shooting Star, not required. You just want to damage ultimate here. I like the Shooting Star because when I take this into dungeons and stuff, it refills fast because you generate 12 ultimate for each enemy hit. So if you throw it on a trash mob, if you're lucky, you get it right back. So that's why I like the Shooting Star. Now both of these are the damage alteration, well, the damage morph. And we're doing this just because these guys do a bunch of damage for us because we're also using Daedric Prey. So with Daedric Prey, it's harder to keep up because it's only up for 6 seconds. And there's only one explosion rather than the Haunting Curse version. But where we lose out on damage and prolonged activation with that, we get the fact that it curses them and they take 45% more damage from our pets. Now that is big because we're using the damage versions of these. So one, the Familiar's doing 1700 damage just in general, and then you cast it again, and he's going to be doing another 1900 shock damage every 2 seconds for 20 seconds. And it stuns trash mobs, but mostly we're just here for that damage. Now up both of those by 45% because of the curse. And then the Twilight, who's zapping, doing 2300 shock damage, and the kick does 2300 damage. And then you recast it, and it does 60% more damage to enemies above 50% health for 20 seconds. So if you're parsing or you're doing a big trial boss, you stop using this after 50%, and then you just focus on these, and you just want to keep everything up as much as possible. Makes it even easier. It's not hard with all 5 skills, really. It's a very simple rotation. But once you're at 50%, you stop using it. Daedric Curse, as soon as it blows up, the end of your next attack, you use it. Critical Surge, we keep this up all the time. If you're soloing or you're doing stuff like Infinite Archive or the like, this heals you every time you crit. And if you're running Khajiit, actually you're always critting all the time anyways because of our Mundus Stone and our sets. But a Khajiit, you're doing big crit damage and big crit heals. And this thing heals you nonstop, like consistently. And then, we all know what this is. You drop it, AoE in front of you, and then when you recast it, it blows up. Now, on my other one-bar Sorc, when it was for Infinite Archive, I recommend using the other morph because it lasts longer and it's way bigger. But when you're doing big bosses and trial stuff or parsing, this is better because when you recast it early, it just gives you a damage bump. It blows up. That's all. Now, I'm going to show you guys real fast an explanation of how to do damage on these heavy attack builds if you haven't done it before. I'm going to grab this dummy over here. Now, we see me in front of me. When you're doing a heavy attack build, you do not want to cast after the heavy attack. You want to hit your button for your skill while it's attacking, and that way it will automatically cast the second it's over, and you don't have to take your finger off the heavy attack. So as you can see, we're heavy attacking, it pulses, and then it goes back. Now, if we're heavy attacking and I cast, see how long that was? Whereas now I'm going to press it while I'm going, and then bang, and then it's much faster. It cancels the animation for you, so it's not such a long pause. It goes the second it stops going. So the second you're pausing automatically, it just goes. So when you're doing the heavy attacking, whether you're parsing or in it, and you're on a heavy attack build, make sure to cast your spells while you're actively getting those ticks with the heavy attack. You want to cast it right now, not right now. Don't wait for the pause. The pause is the worst time. You want to actively, when you're doing this, you want to be focusing on not casting during the pause. You want to be focusing on casting during the attack. So I just wanted to point that out in case you guys haven't done the heavy attack builds before or you're new to them. Always focus on doing the heavy attacks. Like, the heavy attack is, you never want to pause it. The whole purpose is you want to constantly be doing the heavy attack. That's where all of our damage is coming from. If you stack up your skills where 2 of them are coming off cooldown at the same time on accident, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. I do that too. I am not the world's best parser, but you just want to focus on only do one in between so that you keep your heavy attack up as much as possible, because that's where all of our big damage is coming from. Now, looking at the skills, if you want to use this as a solo character, that's very viable. It's extremely easy. All you're going to want to do is swap out. I would change out the Tormentor for the Twilight Matriarch, the other morph of it. I would swap morphs all together with this. And then I would just get rid of one of the pets and put on Hardened Ward. I'd put Hardened Ward right there, and now you're good to go. This is the exact setup that I use all the time in Infinite Archive. It does just fine. In the later ones, you want to be tankier. I have a whole build video for getting tankier and going far into Infinite Archive. But as of now, if you want to just get your daily stuff done in there, this shreds it. This is great for dungeons, solo dungeons. Like right now for the event, I am running this setup with the heal Tormentor so that I can heal the group, I can shield myself, and this heals myself, and I'm just doing silly amounts of damage. Because this build does between 78 and 80k DPS with me doing it. So if you're actually good at heavy attack builds or good at not being awful at PvE, you'll probably do even better. But that's just how I've got it. So that's a quick alt skill setup, just so that if you guys want to do solo stuff or you want to do more random queues and you don't want to focus completely on just group content or parsing or trial bosses and you want to do more group stuff, I would run these skills like that. Now, for the champion points, I am running Weapons Expert, Backstabber, Master at Arms, Deadly Aim. If you're going to run this in a random, I would swap out Backstabber for either Wrathful Strikes, Reaving Blows to make you have even more healing, any of the damage adders that you want. Area Effect would probably do well, but I would probably do Reaving Blows if you're going to be doing randoms so that you have even more self-healing coming your way. Because we don't really... Backstabber helps a lot, but if you're with randoms, let's be real, the tank might not be great. Or if you're doing Infinite Archive or solo content, I would definitely run Reaving Blows in place of Backstabber. So I would still run Deadly Aim, Master at Arms, and you have to run Weapons Expert. That's in this guy right here, right there, Weapons Expert. You need this. This increases the heavy attacks by 20%. You have to have that. For the reds, I'm running very simple, Balanced Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and then in here I'm running Celerity just for the movement. This is on the PTS, so I don't even have my greens set up. Just make sure you've got Steed's Blessing so that you can run around more. That's just personal preference. Now, into the actual meat of it. Very simple setup. We are running a one-piece Slime Craw, Divines, Magic Enchant. In fact, all of our armor is Divines. We are running Necklace, Ring, Staff, and Chest of the Sergeant. Divine's magic enchantment on the chest. I'm running Bloodthirsty with weapon and spell damage enchants and with the magic recovery. And then Oakensoul, Bloodthirsty. Now, I personally think in PvP, Bloodthirsty does me a little bit better. I've got friends and others that say that they like Infused better. It depends. I have an Oakensoul ring for this build explicitly, so I have it in Bloodthirsty for this. If you've only got one in Infused, use Infused. But Bloodthirsty is cheaper, and I like cheap, and I like what works. And when you have it in Infused, it's like 200 and some odd weapon and spell damage, and although that's all the time, Bloodthirsty caps at 350. So I think Bloodthirsty works better, especially on like in PvE where it's not PvP. You're not fighting someone where they're considered super tanky at 40 something K health. You're fighting something with 20 million health. So at that spell and weapon damage scaling, the lower their health is, you're going to be fighting them at a lower health a lot longer than you would anywhere else in the game. So I think the Bloodthirsty, you do get a lot of like good out of that. So that's why I like Bloodthirsty in my PvE jewelry. I'm running Shock and Precise on the staff. So that's that. And then of course, Slimecrawl, like I said. And then the other set is Deadly. Deadly, I am running shoulders, hands, legs, feet, belt, all in Divines, all with magic enchants. Now, we had to get rid of Stormmasters because they nerfed the damage on Stormmasters. Now we're running Deadly. Now, another option you can run here is Noble Duelist. I did not get the numbers that my friends did, but again, I am not the world's best at parsing. I have a parse I'm going to be tacking on the end of this video so you guys can see it, where I do 78,000 damage a second. For me, I think that's good. I think that's pretty decent. I'm not going to say it's the world's best. I'm not going to say it's even the best for this setup. But if I can parse at 78k, you fucking definitely can. So that's why I'm adding it in there. I'm shit at parsing. And if I can do it, you can definitely fucking do it. And Deadly can be bought in a store. Sergeant is from Wayrest Sewers. And Slimecraw's from Wayrest Sewers. So if you take this event and just farm Wayrest to get the Sergeant stuff, and then buy Deadly, you're fucking good to go. PvP chests have been curated. All the PvP gear value has plummeted over the past few months. So Deadly is cheap to buy into. Sergeants, just go pick it up. And yeah, if you want to be full on trait, you got to transmute it. But fuck traits. I'm on a PTS server right now. Now I am only on a PTS server because I only have my main sorcerer and I have it set up for a PvP build that I'm really having fun with, and I didn't want to have to do a full mess around while doing my other build. So, and my other build is only set up for, because I just have my 2 armory slots because I'm refusing to buy a third. My other one is set up just for infinite archive runs, and I already have a video for that. So this is the updated version for the actual damage and solo version. So I would do all of this. If you want to solo, just do the second skill set, this one with Hardened Ward, and then add on Reaving Blows. If you want to just do big damage in trials, just use Backstabber and then run 2 pets. Done. And that's the build. Here is the parse that I'm tacking on at the end. As always, everybody, thank you so much for checking out the video. Thanks for checking everything. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for all the support and comments and likes and joining the Discord and hanging out. Love you guys so much. I will see you next time. Have fun.